the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How high? No,
Greatest wide receiver of all time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches in the
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 203. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
And I am your other co-host, Malin Dennis.
And I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
And of our special first half guest this week, per usual, Mr. Junebug Spade. What's going on, June?
What's up? Welcome horns.
Oh, come horns. It's that time of the year again.
It is. I know we're predominantly NFL and NBA, but you know, June and I got to represent.
Right, we have a minor in college football.
One of our teams is 2-0 against the other one in bowl games the last 2 years, and that's not his. That'd be mine.
So, tidbit of information.
He's like, all right. I love how June's like, say one thing about my Cowboys after that statement. Say one thing today about my Cowboys. Making that statement.
Gentlemen, should we open up the show like we have for over 200 episodes now?
There we go. Yeah, go ahead, Nestor. Raise it high there, buddy. Get that water bottle up there, baby.
I just put a lot of absolute inside this water bottle.
It's just hardcore.
Strong.
We got some bullets, some crowns, some Buffalo Trace. There you go.
I need to pick up a bottle of Buffalo Trace, by the way.
All right. Folks, 2 quick pieces of house cleaning here. 1, if you don't watch us live, we do this show live every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern time on YouTube. You can pretty much find it on any platform that you know us on. There's a link to YouTube somewhere in there. Wednesday nights, 9:30, come watch us live. This Saturday, we are doing our draft watch along, our fantasy draft watch along. So if you want to come, I think it's 8:45 was the stream is scheduled for. So come on out and watch your boys doom ourselves for another year. And also, before I forget, I will mention this again before we break, but June has a new TikTok. The TikTok gods did not smile upon him last week. They struck him down, actually, so he had to start a new account. It is linked in the description below, so make sure you go over there, show him some love, get his numbers back up. I love the old social media politics, but yes.
Yeah. Copyright infringements.
Stupid.
I don't know.
Probably said CD was top 5 wide receiver.
They said enough.
I was like, we're not doing it.
We'll just bring him up on copyright.
Yeah.
Get him on some legal jargon.
There's some guy behind the scenes. It's copyright. Bam. He just bam. As soon as he says something about CD, copyright.
Slamming the band hammer. Probably a Niner fan, too.
Say he's a Niners fan. He's wearing a Brock Purdy jersey. All right,
doesn't know who Joe Montana is.
Let's get to the first topic of this week. This is one of my favorite times of the year where we finish all of our record predictions for all 32 teams.
Oh, God.
And I have the pleasure of assembling this graphic that shows all of our record predictions in one place. Gentlemen, I put it in the general chat. So if you want to go take a look at it, I'm going to bring it up for the viewers here. But yeah, this just gives us a chance. No changes can be made, but we can at least observe what we have picked
Mhm.
over the
I wish
past
changes could be made.
2 months, I think.
I wish.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
yeah, folks at home, it's up on your screen now. And
Woohoo.
yeah, if anything jumps out at you guys, let it be
I'm
brought up
right.
now.
My Chargers in the 12-5 is still kind of haunting me a little bit. And that's still because I'm worried about that foot injury that Herbert has. That makes me nervous for the 12-5. The it might be right there at that 7-10. I don't know, man.
I don't even like my 10-7.
I'm still feeling good right around the 5.
You know what's so funny? I picked Cleveland at 8-9, and with Nick Chubb being out those first 4 games. Woo.
Hey, I just want to say I wasn't on last week's episode. Jalen June, y'all kissed my ass thinking my Seahawks are going another 500. That's
we thought we could sneak that past you, didn't we? We tried, didn't we? We tried that shit, didn't we?
About to mail y'all some dirty draws or something.
We did try and sneak that in. I do want to add that my Patriots pick was a bit emotional. It was a bit emotional.
It was.
It should not be
you're
green.
allowed to do that.
It really shouldn't be green at all.
I just like to say, June, I had Cowboys going 12-5. You couldn't give me no love at even 9-8. I mean, what do we?
That's
hurtful.
That was love.
That's not love. That's not love.
That was love.
You got the Rams winning 11 games. I know you lost your goddamn mind on that. I know. This man.
Well,
been down there with Jim Jones drinking Kool-Aid.
11 games.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one.
I'm high on the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not.
Thank you.
Excellent.
How about G Money taking the Eagles 14-3?
I was looking at that.
That's a little wild. Is that the highest win total?
Yeah. I think it's the highest win total that anybody gave one team, right? I think that's the highest win total that.
Also at 14-3.
They go 14-3.
Oh.
They better go to the Super Bowl at 14-3, and they're not. But
I'll tell you this: we have too many teams winning 13, 12 games.
Yeah, we got some high.
There's a little too many of them.
Shout out to CHB in the live chat. It says Jordan Love will be a top 5 quarterback this season. Spencer Rattler will have a better career than Caleb Williams, and Dolphins will go to the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Whoa, I like it. I like that guy. I don't know about the Spencer Rattler thing, but I do like the Miami Dolphins going to the Super Bowl.
You know that the Dolphins aren't going.
I like that.
The Dolphins ain't going to the Super Bowl when you threw in the Spencer Rattler in there. I hope he doesn't have some sort of parlay bet in Vegas.
Right, that's what it sounds like.
Ooh, that'd be a good one, though. That'd be a good one, though.
Either that or it's Nestor's burner account.
Nestor's burner account.
Still got that right in that.
Oh, he paid that. He's a paid actor. Nestor paid him. He's a paid actor.
He's an industry plant.
No. I agree with the Dolphins. That could come to fruition.
They just need some home playoff games. If they don't got home playoff games,
That's
man,
it. That's it.
If
they get to Super Bowl, I need to come back.
They can't.
Come
back from where? You just like an hour south of us, man. Calm down. That's an easy drive. Yeah, I mean, like if they gotta go to Arrowhead, or if they even got to like just some of the other teams that are good, like that we think of, Cincy, cold weather. Buffalo's cold
Baltimore.
weather. New York, with Baltimore's cold weather.
Yeah.
You don't know what the Jets going to do with Aaron Rodgers. If he's going to play past 4 snaps, but you know what if it's in New York? Like everything is cold weather outside of Miami. So,
But what if it's Houston? But what if it's Houston?
if it's Houston, I got shot.
You know what I mean?
That's one
I
game,
don't
though.
see Stroud. I don't see Stroud.
Or
I
doing that.
hate. I was hearing Nick Wright talk about this, and I'm like, can we just play fucking ball and like not have to? Because he was like, if they get like an indoor stadium, I'm like, what do you need? Like, you want some AC? You want some like sparkling water? Like, what do
Yeah.
you need to play good ball? Like,
Right.
Cincy, Bills, I don't care. Go play ball and beat them. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, beat them.
How much more do you
They
need?
don't. But they
Right.
don't. Like
That's the issue.
the Dolphins don't in cold weather in the playoffs, or even just in the regular
Yeah.
season. Once it starts getting cold, they don't win.
Speaking of the
Um,
Dolphins, it seems
yeah.
like a lot of people in the big sports media are down on the Dolphins this year, like saying that they're not going to make the playoffs, and if they do, they'll be a first round
They're
exit.
gonna make the playoffs.
Which
I
I
don't
just
know
don't
about that.
understand that.
think they're looking at the injury history. Every
Yeah.
big performer on the Miami Dolphins missed time last year, whether it was both the running backs, whether it was Waddle, whether it was Hill. Now OBJ starts, on the pup list for the first 4 weeks. So I think
Yeah.
maybe it's the injury thing, or people just kind of wondering, hey, is McDaniels able to get over that hump? Is he able to take the next step? Because you never really plateau and stay at the same place. You're going to take a step up, you're going to take a step down. So a step like where they are right now is make the playoffs and lose. You're going to take the next step and win a playoff game, or you're just going to miss it altogether. But I don't know. I just think that's a trendy thing to try to say right now, that they're going to miss the playoffs. I think people are. I don't know. People seem to be really high on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
And they was
Brees
really
Hall-
high on them last year. What happened?
Oh, but like Brees Hall is like a number
No.
2 or 3
No.
fantasy running
No.
back right now. Like
Right.
it's getting wild. Like what we're thinking with the Jets, and so maybe we have no idea what the hell's. Well, I think we know what's going to happen with the Patriots, but we have no idea what's going to happen with the Bills.
Caleb, I hope to God they go 7-10. And you predicted. I hope to God they go 7-10 or worse, if that's possible. I hope Keon Coleman turns out to be a whole damn nothing, out of nothing. I just hope it's just a disaster for them. I hope it's Khalil Shakir as their first wide receiver, and then he catches like 10 receptions.
I just want to know what round Nestor plans on picking up Kyle Pitts in the draft. This would be great.
Round 2.
Probably round 3
I'm
or
taking him
4.
in the second round. I'm taking him in the second
Come on,
round.
dude. Damn.
Well, somebody's got to be disappointed this year.
Exactly.
I don't know. Out of all my picks, Jalen, that I'm looking at, really, that Chargers one, I feel a little bullish on with the Chargers pick. That's a tough one to swallow right now. All the other ones, I think I played it conservative enough.
Give
Like,
me, from all of us, give me one of these picks that you feel the most confident in.
Ooh, most confident.
The Patriots.
June.
God damn. Dude just being an asshole right now. Dude just,
You know what? To be honest, though, if we
Jimmy.
won 6 games,
He
this
said
year,
confident. He said.
I'd be
He
like,
said
all right.
six. Okay.
Fair.
Okay. A team that I got a winning record in.
It doesn't have to be, for sure.
How about a winner
I
and
would
a
say
loser?
Detroit.
The winner
Say
and the
Detroit.
loser that we're most confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So
I feel
June's-
confident in Detroit pick. I think
Go ahead.
I take Detroit as my winning. And then I will take the Saints as my losing 6-11. I think that's right where they should be. So,
All right.
I think I'm most in my losers. My losers, I think I am most confident in probably the Giants at 5 wins.
mm,
They're always like they're never the worst. They're never the worst team, but they're one of the worst. And I feel like they're always good for 5 wins. That's just kind of that's what you're paying Daniel Jones $40 million for is for 5 wins. As far as one that I feel most confident in, I feel really confident in the Ravens at 12-5.
Okay.
Feel really confident with the Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, with the combo there.
Right.
I like that. But oh shit, I just saw that okay. Outside of the Chargers going 12-5. Oh shit, I had the Falcons going 12-5. God damn. That's a fucking Gumby over here. I'm just Mr. Fantastic. I'm stretching all over the goddamn place, and at least I just saw that. That just glad I didn't make that bet in Vegas. Shit.
Nestor, do you have yours? Or do you want me to go first?
I'm pretty confident about the Niners at 12-5 because I think it's. I agree with some people saying it has to be their year or it's nothing. It's this year or nothing for them. So 12-5 seems good. Even I don't know. I was gonna say Seahawks maybe at 9-8 just because I think I'm pretty high on them. I just think they need another year, but those two I'm really confident on having those records or winning records. And then the Cardinals, it's the one team where I just don't see anything for them
It's
going.
not. It's not. It's not the only team.
2-15,
I know
like
there's some others.
Giants 5-12 seems a little nice now that I'm looking at it. So that's why and then Saints. I think Saints 7-10 is fine. So I saw that G Money had them going 2-15. Damn. Jesus Christ, that's horrible. I think Cameron's gonna get into another bar fight or club fight. I'm gonna suspended.
Okay,
Oh my
you do have
God.
the Titans winning 3 games, so I guess you are the least on the Cardinals for sure.
The who? The Titans?
Yeah, you have the Titans winning 3 games.
Will Levis was surprising people.
No, he ain't.
My most
You know.
confident, I'm gonna agree with Nestor. San Francisco just seems like 12 wins. Like, come on. That just
I hate
out
it.
of all these teams, that seems just like a lock for some reason.
Like
and
it
then-
should happen.
Hated it.
Yeah. Losers right above them. I really like my 4-13 from Minnesota. That seems just like a 4-win shitty team.
I believe in Sam Darnold.
I believe he's got 4 games in him. That's what he's got.
Hey, Sam Darnold don't believe in Sam Darnold.
That's what I was about to say. Sam Darnold ain't believe in him anymore. He wants to go back to USC. I think he has another year of eligibility left.
Oh my God, bro.
He wants to go play for Riley.
Finish his degree.
Come back as the next Caleb Williams. That's what he wants to do.
So yeah,
I love
listen,
man.
the same thing when he comes on later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it one more time, man. I know, I get it. That Caleb Williams is #1 pick, but we are just, as a society, just slobbing all over a guy that couldn't even complete 60% of passes in the preseason against number 2s. This is, I do these passes in my sleep. Well, not consistently. You're not. And he never won anything. Never won anything in college. But what did he what did
what's
his
so
team
funny?
win in college? He didn't win nothing in college.
I have a buddy of mine who's a Utah fan, and you and him sound just alike when it comes to Caleb Williams. I mean, my God, you Pac-12s are haters on each other.
No, he didn't. He didn't win. He didn't win in Oklahoma. He didn't win in Oklahoma. He never won. He never won a conference championship. He went to
No.
one his entire career, never won one. He didn't even make it
Right.
last year because Washington beat his ass. He was crying in his mama in the stands after Washington beat him last year. So that's the Chicago Bears quarterback. The man ran up in the stands and was sobbing in his mom's
Being
arms.
emotionally transparent.
There's a
It's
lot
the
of
new
emotional
generation.
fortitude there. Yeah, new generation, my ass. Like, no.
Hey, remember. Hey, but remember this. You can't
confident,
count.
but when I lose, I'm gonna go cry in my mama's arms. She better be at every game. Better be at every game.
You can't count wins in the conference and stuff as barometers of how they're going to be in the pros because Peyton Manning nor Eli Manning ever won a championship in the SEC.
And
Neither one of them won the SEC ever.
And are any of them considered like the greatest of all time? Like everyone's calling Caleb Williams
is.
the chosen one. No, he's not.
Peyton
He's
is
not
one of the
considered
greatest.
of all time. He's one of the best. One of the best,
Yeah.
but it took him a hell of a long time to win. But even comparing Caleb Williams to Peyton Manning seems sacrilegious to me.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
comparing them.
disgusting.
I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying
Disgusting.
Right.
you can't use that as a barometer. You
Yeah.
can't use that as a barometer.
No.
That's true.
Got to win something. To win something, to be something.
Well, yeah, I want to see him win.
Have you guys been watching Hard Knocks? Because that's providing
Yes.
a lot of this gasoline. right now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I guess it is.
Oh, my God.
Hey, before we move on to the next topic, I want to talk about something real quick and see what y'all think about it. What do you think about Sean McVay making Kyron Williams the starting punt returner, who is also the number one running back on their team? Is that? I mean, I know that's.
I think it's
is that
smart.
like?
I think it's
Okay.
smart because you're not open to the amount of injuries like you used to be on
That's true.
the return teams, and you want your best playmaker with the ball with the way the rules are right now. I think that
Right.
you're going to see some of these people if Devin Hester was coming in the NFL right now, he'd never have a job. Because
Right.
your best skill position players are going to be your returners now. Because they're making it that safe on that side of the ball. And it still looks weird to me, guys. It looks weird when I see the kicker all the way back there by himself. I'm like, what are we? that is the loneliest son of a bitch on the team. He don't even get to line up people anymore.
Yeah.
So
A lot of people are
I think a lot of other
overreacting.
people are gonna do it though.
Because they're saying they're gonna want to keep him safe and not give him the ball that much, because he's doing that already. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna be that bad. I don't think they're forgetting about the rule change. I think some people are overreacting.
I think so too.
If I'm the Dolphins,
so
I'm putting
too.
Tyreek Hill out there. I'm the Dolphins. I'm putting Tyreek Hill.
I wouldn't do that, but I wouldn't do that.
Run, sir.
If he snaps the
do
ball,
that,
our
but-
season's over. We're not going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man,
No,
on the way the new kickoff rules are, you put your playmaker with the ball, with the way that they can't even start moving until you touch it. You can't even start moving until you touch it.
But Devon A. chain.
Yeah.
For that
You
ball.
can do that
Shit.
Now I can see that. I can see that. An A-chain back there.
All about field position, man. You got people kicking 60-yard field goals like it's nothing now.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is put the
Oh,
ball
yeah.
at the 50-yard line.
Giggity.
Hey, we get a 1.5 first down. Let's get 3 points, people. So that's pretty much what the NFL's moving to right now.
I mean, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I agree.
All right, let's get to the next topic for this week's show, which is our top 5 quarterbacks heading into this year's season. I asked this question on TikTok so that we can all be on the same page as far as topic goes. So we'll get to the comments in the second half of the show. But for the first half, I figured the 4 of us will give our top 5, and then G Money can give his top 5 when he joins later on. So we will start at 5. I kind of feel like for this list, we should start at 1, just because I'm assuming y'all have Mahomes at 1, so it makes it a little more interesting to go the other way around. Does anybody not have Mahomes at 1?
I kind of feel like it's Mahomes' show right now. You got to beat him to be
Mhm.
better than him. It's kind of like the Brady effect at this point. He might not have the best numbers, but he makes everybody better around him, and he's the one winning the chips right now.
And the man just threw a behind the back pass. So come on. I can.
The funny thing is, I feel like the gap between him and whoever you want to say is 2 is vast. Like, I don't even think it's anywhere close.
I feel like it would be okay. We'll talk about this when we get to number 2. We'll talk about number 2 because I do feel like it's closer than I have felt before.
All right, well, then let's hop right to number 2. June, who do you have at 2?
At 2, I got Lamar Jackson. I feel he proved it last year. He's a number 2. He's a number 2 quarterback. He's got to take that next step to be number 1, and that is beating Patrick Mahomes. He is that good. He controls game. You have to scheme for Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. I mean, you have to scheme. He's gotten better at passing. You saw what he did to Detroit. I mean, he basically torched Detroit last year in the air. And then he can move. And when he moves around the pocket and he decides I'm going to escape, he escapes. So he's starting to, that gap between him running and him passing is getting closer. That means it's getting scary for Lamar Jackson. So I got him as a solid number 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go real quick because I have the same 2. You summed it up when you said the gap between his passing and his running is really starting to shrink now. And it's funny because it was very wide when he was a rookie, but now last year, like, it was on full display. Like, this dude is scary once his passing has started to improve as greatly as it did. So, yeah, can't wait to have the chance to go watch him when he comes to Tampa in October. So,
Right.
yeah, go ahead, Malin.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson number 2. And here's why I think the gap is not as great as people think between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's won what? 2 MVPs now. Now, he has not had the playoff success. But true or false? If you took Lamar Jackson and put him on the Chiefs roster with Andy Reid, they're still winning Super Bowls.
Probably. I don't know if they win as many.
You don't
At least
think?
one. At least one. At least one.
You don't,
Yeah.
you don't
At
think
least
they're
one.
winning
At least
as
one.
many? You don't think they're winning
think
as
at least
many?
one.
I don't know.
Especially in them early years, because Lamar Jackson has never had the talent that Patrick Mahomes had early in his career with the Hill and the Kelsey
Right.
and the
Yeah.
and the running backs that they had. And he's never, like, you think about the talent he's had, and he's had a defensive minded head coach. Yet he's won 2 offensive MVPs. If he had Andy Reid as his quarterback, y'all like, okay, June, I know you remember them Donovan McNabb days in Philly, but Andy Reid,
Yeah.
like, I feel like if he had an offensive mind like an Andy Reid, he would be even so
Right.
much better than what he already is.
Right.
But he doesn't have the playoff wins. He doesn't have the Super Bowls, but he's got a couple MVPs. But I don't think he's that much. I feel he's getting better, and Patrick Mahomes is kind of staying the same right now. Patrick Mahomes isn't lighting up the world with the stats, but he's still winning. They have a culture of winning there and winning Super Bowls. Lamar Jackson, his game is continuing to elevate, where I don't think that Mahomes has necessarily been elevating. It's just stayed where it's at, which is still good enough to win. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, that's right. Oh, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I think it's funny because the thing that's really started to separate him now, because Lamar is making the flashy plays and numbers wise really starting to light it up. But it's like in these big games where Mahomes still proves to be this worlds ahead of everybody else is his decision making and the lack of mistakes, which Josh Allen continues to make, Lamar continues to make. Joe Burrow, we haven't in his injury last year, but
Here, Here's the only point I make to that though, Jalen, is he had one of those great Super Bowl wins where he completely balled out. I mean, he has one of the worst quarterback performances you've seen in Super Bowl history against the Bucks. I
felt
think
like
he
against the
was
Eagles, he
no,
took a
he
high
was
scoring game.
mediocre against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts
But
balled out
in the
against
first
them.
half, in the first half,
Okay, you got okay. We need to look at the stats on this. He has had average stats in the Super Bowl, even though he winning. He's had some good AFC Championship games. He's had some good other playoff games. He's really balled out. But when you look at his Super Bowl stats, they're not the best that you've ever seen in your life.
no.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though, is that even if you are not required to throw for 400 yards in the Super Bowl, when it comes down to just a couple plays and what you do in a 2-minute drill when a trophy's on the
Right.
line,
Yeah.
that's where he's really has shown his superiority.
Which is Brady-esque.
Right.
I mean, the first Super
right.
Bowl, what did Brady have to do? Just get them in contention to win against the Carolina, against the Carolina Panthers in that Super Bowl. What did he have to do? Just get them in position to win. It's Brady-esque. That's
Okay.
all we're
Okay,
asking.
okay, but no one has ever asked Mahomes to be Brady-esque in those first few years. No one, like when Mahomes was
No.
getting to the Super Bowl his first few years, it was you better light it up. Like with Brady, it was
Yeah.
different because he had defense. But here was his
Yeah.
okay, he only had 182 yards passing in that Super Bowl against the Eagles. Now he ended up with 3 touchdowns. Okay. But under 200 yards passing in that Super Bowl against the Eagles there. Last year against the hold on, I'm gonna find it.
Niners.
The Niners. I know it's the Niners, but hold on. He had okay, so he had 300 yards passing, but 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like 34-46. I guess that's average, but like he's never lit it up. Like I don't think he's ever like lit it up in a game where people
Well,
kind of like expect him to,
yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like he gets a little bit of a pass because they keep winning some of these Super Bowls, but to me, that that Super Bowl loss to the Bucks, that was one of the worst performances I've seen by a QB in the Super Bowl. And Rex Grossman has played in the Super Bowl, so that's saying something.
Nestor,
I guess we still need Nestor's number 2. Sorry, yeah, Nestor's number 2.
I had this guy at. I was debating of whether to put him. Wait, we're doing number 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 2.
I was debating about whether to put him at 5 or 4,
2.
and now I've actually put him at 2 because I was looking at some stats, and I was looking back at this season, and I was just thinking, I disagree with some comments I was looking at, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm gonna put Josh Allen at 2.
Ooh.
For me, the biggest
go.
thing is,
That was a party.
and maybe I'm looking at this different, but the biggest thing for me is potential. Because we were just talking about who can beat Mahomes. I got Josh Allen. What Lamar Jackson showed me in that playoff game was just abysmal. Josh Allen has better playoff stats. And I just see him as the guy with the potential to beat him. He shows the volume, and he just needs just a tidbit better decision making because it's destroying him in these important games. He got rid of Stephon Diggs, which is a plus. But if this guy can just have a couple clutch games and get into the playoffs, I mean, for me, he's the guy with the most potential to beat Mahomes, not Lamar Jackson. And when we get to number 3, I'm gonna say why he's above Burrow.
The guy that actually beat Patrick Mahomes.
How long has it been since that?
Bit better decision making. His
I got married and moved to a whole different country since Burrow
Yeah.
beat
And guess what?
Ooh.
You've been born, married, and everything else since Josh Allen beat him in the playoffs too. That ain't never happened. Yeah.
Oh Lord, Lordy. Mm.
Josh Allen is on my list, so I guess I'll get to him later. G Money says Malin conveniently forgets that in the Super Bowl versus the Bucks, the Chiefs had lost both their starting tackles going into that game.
Don't
That is
conveniently
true.
forget anything. It's just you're great or you're not. What do you want from me? Like that Bucks defense was not a bunch of world beaters. Like, I know they didn't have their two tackles, but I mean, come on, you can't even get one. Like that's my thing. Like, I understand you lost, but you lost that bad. Like, come on.
All right, so let's get to number 3. Go ahead,
Go
G
my
Money.
ass.
Number 3, I do have that guy, Joe Shiesty. Even with him getting injured last year, this kid just has that it factor in him. And if they keep the core of this team together, I know they're gonna have to pay Joe Shiesty and they're gonna have to pay Jamar Chase within the next year, along with the rest of the players they have to play. If they keep the core of this team together, this team will be back in another Super Bowl, and I think it'll come out different next time. This is a very good team. Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback. Like we just said, he beat Patrick Mahomes. This guy, not only did he beat Patrick Mahomes, he came from behind to do it.
Beat him at his own game.
Okay, they beat him at his own game. That's what Patrick Mahomes. He beat you from behind. He is, again, barring injury, barring everything else. This guy is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And if you take one guy and I'm talking strictly AFC, to beat him and to go to the Super Bowl, it will be Joe Burrow once again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go quickly again because I'm on the same thing. He is the Darth Vader to Patrick Mahomes, Luke Skywalker. There's some shit on the screen here. All right, Malin, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he's got to be number 3. The 2 years that he's been healthy, for the whole year, he's gone to the AFC Championship game, and he beat Kansas City once, and he lost 20-23 the year after. So they've gone toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. He's the only quarterback that seems to be able to go round for round, pound for pound with Patrick Mahomes. Even the regular season, these games are just epic. I'm not a fan of the head coach. I think the head coach needs to go. I know they need to pay some people. Hopefully the defense is a little bit better. But as far as just a guy that has the it factor, like you said, he like has the cools of like a Joe Montana, but like the moxie of like a Dan Marino from back in the 80s. I was a little bit concerned that he showed up to training camp looking like a mix between Pete Davidson and Eminem. That was a little weird. I don't know why that happened. But yeah, he's a clear number 3 to me. He just needs to stay healthy. He just needs to stay healthy. Keeps getting hit by that injury bug a little bit. But yeah.
This is just my guess. I don't know, but Eminem put out a new album recently where he's like painting himself as the villain, and I feel like Joe Burrow is trying to do the same thing, where he's like,
"Yep,
I'm the bad
I
guy."
believe it. Yep, I believe it. Yep.
Nestor, who's your 3?
3, I got Burrow. To me, I wanted to put him at 2, as the guy that could potentially beat Mahomes. I just think he has, and this is the perfect word I found for it, he has an availability problem. So ever since he beat the Chiefs, he just hasn't been available to do it a second time to really show up. So for me, he needs to show up, play the whole damn season, and actually not even beat them so much as to actually like just play a good game. Because how many seasons are we gonna have like last season before we just realize it's that ship has sailed? Because to me,
Yeah.
they have O-line problems. He's gotten sacked a lot, too much, and quarterbacks
Right.
that happen to them, they usually it doesn't turn out well in the later years. So you just have to look at that. And you know, I really do want him to have a great season like this season and really show up against the Chiefs. But it has to happen. If we don't have that happen in 2 years, then we gotta just kind of lower him and lower the expectations and the hype around him. Unfortunately.
Of course.
All right. Let's get to number 4, June.
All right. I'm gonna back this train up. Number 4 is Dak Prescott.
Oh boy.
That's my number 4. And I'm gonna tell you why. Dak Prescott, let's not talk about the postseason because the postseason is the postseason. Let's talk about regular season numbers. Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks within the regular season. Let's be real with that. He 3 straight 12-5 seasons. No other Cowboys quarterback has ever done that. And they just got to get over that hump of getting into the playoffs. But if the Cowboys can get into a Super Bowl and Dak Prescott plays up against a Patrick Mahomes with the offense that the Cowboys have, he beats them head to head. Look at the numbers. The regular season numbers don't lie. And if these two guys ever met in a Super Bowl, you would have to go against this team that has such a formidable offense when they're in. Just like the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are the same way. If they ever get a situation where it's going to be Kansas City and the Dolphins, but it's in Miami, it's going to be, and the Miami they're healthy and they're ready to go, and Kansas City got to travel to Miami. I don't think Kansas City can beat them. But Dak Prescott has proven himself over and over again that he can play with the best quarterbacks. You know, that duel that he had against Jared Goff in that Detroit Lions Cowboys game last year.
Great game.
I mean, it was a great game. That's what you want to see. And he duels against Jalen Hurts, who's considered a top quarterback in the league every year, and he splits it or beats him. You know, so I got to give Dak his flowers on the point where he puts up the kind of numbers that could challenge Mahomes if they ever met head to head in the Super Bowl. So that's why I got Dak at the number 4 spot.
If we were just talking regular season, I would say undoubtedly, but
Right.
just because of his postseason woes, I just can't. Also,
Yeah.
the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, that is a scenario that I don't think any of us will live to see, and Dak won't live to see. And
It's a dream scenario, sir. It's a dream. It's a dream, damn it.
it's a different multiverse.
Yeah, people get shot for dreams, June.
Go ahead, Malin. Who's your 4?
All right. Listen, I don't like going after June saying this because I felt like he said too much. But I actually have Dak at number 4 too.
God.
I really do. And you can call this a hot take. But here's the reason why. Okay? Everybody have been putting Josh Allen at number 2 or 3 in the NFL at quarterback for the last 2 to 3 years, right? Yeah, he's posted 15 or more interceptions, I think, for the last 5 years. Under 30 touchdowns, I think, 3 years. And he's had limited playoff success, just like Dak has had early in his career. Okay, the way I look at it, we're looking at Dak Prescott. Yes, they've gone 12-5 their last 3 years, but the last 2 years that he was healthy, they were 12-5, and he put up 4,500 yards in 2021 and 2023, and he had 37 and 10 touchdowns in 2021, and he was 36 and 9 last year. If you're gonna have Josh Allen in your top 5 with his 18 picks and 28 touchdowns, I think he had, but you're not gonna put up somebody with 36 and 9. June, who was the best running back on the Cowboys last year? Who's the best running back? Just the name. Who
Tony
was it?
Pollard.
Pollard. Okay. Who was the offensive coordinator last year for the Dallas Cowboys?
It was McCarthy.
Yeah. 2 strikes. Who's the number 2 wide receiver last year on the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh shit. Why you putting me on the spot like this?
Yeah, was it Gallup? I think it was Gallup. You're looking at 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 67% completion percentage, with nobody else around him except for CD.
Right.
And the offensive line is not the offensive line that it used to be. The man produced with less than what they've had in the past. If this was the 2017, 2018 Cowboys when they had that stacked offensive line, Zeke was running like crazy. They had, Amari Cooper and all these people, and they were still underperforming the playoffs. I get it. But when he's healthy, man, he's balling. So I gotta give him like you said, June, I gotta give him his flowers on that. Postseason aside, I get that. But when other people got Josh Allen as a top 5, but when you stack the playoffs and the numbers between these two quarterbacks, I don't really. To me, the clear choice, the better choice, is Dak Prescott.
Oh, I've got a lot.
And I am sick to my stomach for saying that. But.
That
I love it.
sale that I really could just take off Josh Allen here and put in Dak Prescott, but I'll stick with my original list. I do have Josh Allen at 4. I did not want to include him on my list. I don't like Josh Allen. Obviously, nothing personal, but just him as a player. Josh Allen is like the Bitcoin of the NFL. He's so volatile, and it's like everyone's like, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be great. Just watch him. And he just worst times tanks, and you're like, what the the decision making of this man is one of the strangest things I've ever seen, because he can be on a Sports Center top 10 first play where he just makes some cannon throw along the sideline, and then at the same time be on the worst Sports Center list where it's like he'll throw into quadruple coverage, and you're like, why would you think that was a good idea? So Josh Allen he's just, like Nestor said, the potential. So all the Josh Allen stands will never give up. The potential that's there. And the man has never won anything significant, and yet we're still riding potential. So begrudgingly have him at 4.
Would it be crazy to you, Jalen, to know that his best year was 2020 when nobody was in the stands?
Yep.
That's the only year that Josh Allen produced a quarterback rating of over 100. It's the only year. He's thrown for over 4,200 yards every year since 2020. I get it. He was 37-10 in that 2020 season. After that, 36-15, 35-14, 29-18. He's regressing. He's not getting better.
Right.
Since he lost Daboll, since Daboll went to the Giants, he's been digressing. I just can't have him in my top 5.
There's
not somebody going backwards.
When
your best year was 3 years ago.
Yeah, his rookie year.
He was terrible in 2018.
There are still times that to this day he'll have certain plays where he looks just like that. Like you couldn't even tell the difference.
Yeah.
And you're like,
but he's in your top 4.
Same guy. I put him in my top 5 because I just didn't want to hear from the people in the comments. But Nestor, who's at your 4?
I had Nestor.
4, I got Lamar Jackson. I think we saw his ceiling. As far as playoffs last season. So, great quarterback. I mean, I just don't see anything else after what he did last season in playoffs. I just don't see it there. He just looked awful in that game. Like the interceptions, like just he looked confused, like just completely disconnected from the game.
Right.
So just the way he looked so frustrated, I just don't see anything else after that. But hopefully we do. But for me, he's number 4. He's in my top 4, so I don't want to hear it. I mean, that's
I'm
pretty
not saying
good.
nothing.
Being on top 4
Yeah, you get, I mean, yeah,
means you could be.
it's
I feel like
good.
being top. Well, because you guys mentioned Dak.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim. But usually,
You got. I mean,
top
you got. I
4
mean, you
means
got
you
a
could be-
2-time
you could be one
MVP, 2 spots
eventually.
behind someone that's
Right.
I mean, you got Josh Allen up there at 2, and you got a 2-time MVP, 2 spots below him.
Josh Allen has better
wild.
stats in playoffs.
Lamar looked bad in that last playoff game, not gonna lie. But he didn't look that bad. Like Josh Allen has looked befuddled at times. Lamar just looked, it was the Mahomes effect. But Josh Allen was like,
Yeah.
dog, really?
And I think that's why.
I think we're putting too much into the way people play against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Like you
Right.
got to look at the whole body of work. Like the Chiefs are a different animal in the playoffs. We're judging everybody on how they're playing against the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Josh
number
Allen
5 is
embarrassed by Joe Burrow at home when he had all of the
Well, he
momentum in
was.
the world
was.
after that
He
DeMar
did.
Hamlin thing.
Yeah.
Stadium going crazy.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow and the Bengals came in and just spanked them. And it was
Which
like, come
was
on.
hilarious. Hamlin. Why'd you got to bring up Hamlin? Oh, never mind.
Gotta drive the knife in there. All right.
Well, let's go to number 5.
Let's go to 5. Go ahead, Jude.
And get me in trouble.
So number 5, I do have this guy, and I do not have Josh Allen in my top 5,
Oh,
and because I think he's a good quarterback, but I think he's on the decline. Malin just said it. The man is on the decline. He proved it. I think he had a great great season last year, and he came back and stuff like that. But I still believe Tua is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. So
Now
I
that's-
have Tua as number 5. I'm sorry. I wanted to put Stafford in there. I wanted to put all these guys in there, but Tua has been on the upcharge every single year. Ever since he left Flores, he's been getting better and better. Yeah, injuries have been a setback. That's been the biggest setback about the Miami Dolphins, have been injuries. Other than that, Tua has been one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay? And this year, if I'm telling you, I said this early in the season when we was talking about the Dolphins, if this team stays healthy, it's going to be a tough out for either Baltimore or Kansas City in the playoffs. This is a very good team, and Tua is a very good quarterback. I like him. I like the way he plays. And the AFC is head and shoulders above the NFC right now when it comes to quarterback play. That's why most of us probably don't even have but one NFC quarterback in the top 5, because the AFC is so good at quarterback right now. I like Tua because of what he is going to be able to do. I know a lot of people like Josh Herbert, but Josh Herbert has failed to me. And now he's got another new offensive coordinator. He's got another new head coach. This guy is now behind again. Why would you put him above guys that are still moving forward, are making the playoffs? So I got Tua as that guy in the top 5 of quarterbacks.
Two
All
things.
right, so-
just real quick. TikTok, number 1, the views of Junebug Speg do not represent the rest of after further review. And 2, didn't just like 3 weeks ago, I can't remember his name on the top of my head, but he came on the show and said Tua is not even top 20.
Are we?
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Rio.
All right, so June, we've had some moments where we've agreed today. I would like for you to remember those moments because they are few and far between. I want you to cherish those. It's a kinship we have between ourselves. I'll go ahead and take a shot
Yes,
real
it
quick. Because here I have to tell you how you're wrong. So Tua, last year, one of the best offensive minds in McDaniels, having Hill, having Waddle, having Mostert, having A-Chain, right? All them people produced 4,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. Here's why I'm going to make a case that my person at top 5, in the number 5, is better than Tua, and that person is Jared Goff. Jared Goff is the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. Reason being, he's got someone that's talking about biting kneecaps off still, people. I can't even name the offensive coordinator for Detroit. I know he's got Amon St. Brown. I know he's got Jahmyr Gibbs in Montgomery, but that's nowhere near the dual threat that the Dolphins have. They don't have the offensive mind. They don't have all the offensive weapons. Yet he was only 70 yards behind Tua for the year with 4,575 through 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Those are comparable numbers when Tua obviously had more talent and offensive mind stacked with him, and Jared Goff took his team further than Tua was able to take his team. And so I'm actually impressed with Jared Goff. I remember Jared Goff's rookie year with the Rams with Jeff Fisher, and I remember watching him against Seahawks, and I was like, this man ain't going to last for nothing. And then he got McVay, and he blew up, right? 3,800 yards, 4,600 yards, went to a Super Bowl, and everyone thought, well, that's the best you're going to ever get. He's never going to be as good as he was with McVay. At best with McVay, he threw for 4,688, 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Last year without McVay, 45, 75, 30, and 12. He's still he's back to what he doesn't. I think he's out of that shadow of he's only a McVay piece in the cog. I feel like he kept growing. He didn't just give up on his career. And he's got the Lions primed is a team that could go back to the NFC Championship game. So I really like Jared Goff as my number 5 in the league right now. That skinny little white boy from UCal. So that's my number 5. I'm probably gonna get roasted. I'm fucking talking to everybody again, putting him number 5. But when you come back from that, and you're the quarterback of the Lions, and you take them to the NFC Championship game, and you got damn near you got the same numbers as Tua. Come on, and don't even give me shit about Josh Allen with his 29 and 18 interceptions last year. The hell are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the Goff pick at all. I think that actually makes good sense. I saw a couple people on TikTok too that had him on the list, and he's been like pretty much a top 5 quarterback passing stat wise the past 2 years now. So
yeah, they're still gonna flame me for it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Still
No, I think it's a good pick. That's a good pick.
They still gonna.
I had him,
me.
and I went back and forth when I saw this. I went back and forth, with him, being up there. But in the end, I decided to pick Tua. But just because the AFC is just better than the NFC, that's the only reason why I put Tua in there.
Who you got, Jalen?
I've got Matt Stafford at my number 5.
Ooh,
okay,
not bad either.
I think he's very just slept on, and with him missing his number 1 target last year, I think that just really hurt them. And then I believe he got hurt later on. But yeah, I mean the man just did win a Super Bowl 2-3 seasons ago, so he's still very, very good. Now that Kupp is back, Nakua is now developed into what he is now.
Puka, man, Jesus.
The Rams are set up to have a great year. That offense should be one of the best in the NFL. He's already proven that he's a champion, so he should be right back there. I think he'll be top 5 this year. Nestor,
I got Tua at number 5.
I knew you couldn't do it.
Before this man went down last season, he had a great QBR. He was one of the best quarterbacks. One of my favorite games last season was the first game against Justin Herbert, because I just felt like man, if we could somehow beat this team, because I was expecting a lot out of the Chargers and a lot out of Justin Herbert, because he's that
Mhm.
guy that everybody just puts like, oh, he's definitely better than Tua. He's got the arm, he's got the physical strength, he's got everything. But he's got the same issue Joe Burrow has, but times 20. He's not available. His fingers, hands, wrists, just all made of glass. Um,
And he's an Oregon
he's got
quarterback.
all the talent, but yeah, Tua outperformed this man healthy. Tua outperformed Justin
Mhm.
Herbert. He had not only did he demonstrate he had the arm, well, he doesn't always have the arm, but in this case, he definitely had the arm, and he had just amazing accuracy. He outperformed Justin Herbert. That the QBR ratings that we've seen from him, the fact that he has had to work with a terrible O line for so many years with the Dolphins, and I just don't think McDaniels is that great of a coach. I think he's a good coach, but I think he's overhyped a little bit sometimes because he's funny. He's like the funny coach that some people get along with, and it's great. That's great and all, but you really need what you see out of those top coaches. You can't just be funny and then show up in sweats. And we win games and we beat Shot and Payne like 70 points. We put 70 points on them, and that's great. But then we have these games against teams above 500 where we need good, perfect coaching. So Tua has had to work with a lot, and I think what we've seen from him is, man, he's a lot like Jared Goff. Like he's a slightly younger, and he's a guy that he just depends on not a lot about on his what factors he has around him. So he's a lot like Jared Goff. I just think he's slightly better than Jared Goff at number 5.
His stats are way better with McDaniels than before McDaniels. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, of course.
And I agree with you on a
Definitely,
lot. Like
definitely.
he could definitely be number 6, Nestor. But when you spend half of your argument telling me that he should be top 5 because he outdueled Justin Herbert, I
I got
don't.
emotional.
I
enjoyed
kind
that
of.
game.
No, a lot of people. No,
He's like, nah,
no,
man,
let
you
me tell you
top 5
something.
because you beat Justin Herbert in the Chargers. I
No, let me
mean,
tell you, but mainly
on.
you have to look at a lot of people, even in the comment section of this video. A lot of people said Justin Herbert, they got him top 5. They have him top 5, and I'm like, no,
Yeah,
the
I
dude's
mean,
not top 5. I'm sorry, he's not top 5.
listen, autism and incest and CTE are real, man. So you're gonna have people in the chat that are gonna say stupid shit. So I mean, it's just a matter of it's just how it happens. Justin Herbert has failed to reach any level of consistency to consider himself anywhere close to the top 5. He's never done it. He's got all the tools, all the makeup. I get it. He hasn't done anything his entire career to put himself there yet. Because he hasn't done it in the regular season consistently, and he damn sure hasn't done it in the playoffs.
Oh, the Phillip Rivers comparison doesn't even stand anymore.
No, because
point.
at least Phillip Rivers was
No.
going to the playoffs,
Right.
and Phillip Rivers won in the playoffs. Phillip Rivers went to an AFC championship.
Right.
He might have flamed out that 14. I mean, now here's another thing. You can't really count. Here's the problem with the AFC. When it comes to quarterbacks in the AFC, that's not Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. When you start factoring in the playoff careers of all these other AFC quarterbacks, okay? Phillip Rivers, all these people go up against Tom Brady. They're going to have terrible fucking win-loss percentage in the playoffs. They're going to go up against Tom Brady. Everybody else in the AFC, because they're going up against Patrick Mahomes. So when you're looking at the AFC, you got to go, like, what are you doing in the regular season? And Justin Herbert isn't doing it. Hasn't done it. Like you said, he's made a glass a little bit. He's had one, like, maybe 2 good statistical years. But he's not, and he's had some good weapons. He had a dumbass coach. It was a dumbass coach. We'll see what happens with Harbaugh. That's why I'm bullish on him a little bit. But Justin Herbert has a long way to go. Like he might be like number 15 on my list right now. So, but we got to go to break. It's almost 10:40, people.
Right. It is that.
Okay.
Folks, we will see you on the other half of the break. June, thank you so much for joining us for another
Thank you,
great
June.
first half.
Hey, June, good luck to your horns. And my mom wanted me to say welcome to the SEC because she's an LSU fan. So she wanted to say welcome to SEC. It's weird, man. My Huskies are in the Big Ten, and your horns are in the SEC. What world are we living in right now? This is wild.
What kind of world are we living in? This is crazy.
It is wild. All right, man. You have a good week, June.
All right, June.
We will see you all in about 10
Peace
minutes.
out, fellas. All right.
Eagles just landed Jahan Dotson in a trade with the Commanders for some draft picks next year. I really like this for Dotson himself and the Eagles. In Washington, he clearly was not working out. Seemed like he always had more potential than what he was doing in Washington. And Washington was just kind of a mess. But now he gets to go to Philly where he's got low expectations behind Brown and Smith. He could be the wide receiver number 3 instead of being the 2 to Jerry Terry in Washington. Gives Jalen Hurts another weapon, and he gets to learn from 2 great stud receivers. Great move for the Eagles. They just improved their offense even more. Kind of a low-risk situation. Again, the expectations for him in Philly aren't going to be that high. He knows he's not going to be getting the ball as much as those other 2 guys. Can't hurt to have him. On the other hand, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, he took away one of his possible weapons, but the Commanders are going to be the Commanders. I wasn't expecting them to be world beaters this year anyway. What do you guys think, though, from both perspectives? Washington losing him and the Eagles picking him up. We're going to try and win that division. 3 questions for Seattle Seahawks fans before the start of this season. Number 1, do you think Sam Howell will be starting at some point this season? And I mean this without any injuries being involved to Geno Smith. Number 2, Seattle was ranked 25th in defense last year. Where do you think they will rank under Mike McDonald this year? And number 3, will DK Metcalf be on the top 10 leading receivers list in terms of just yards only? Seahawk fans, let us know in the comments below.
Yo, Belichick. Last pick. Oh, last pick.
What's up, guys? We are here at a Bucks creamsicle event. I don't know exactly how to describe this. The Bucks are putting on this event here for all their fans at Armature Works, and we're trying to figure out how to get people to pick our draft order for our fantasy league. We're gonna ask random people to pick a name, team name, out of this bowl, minus the marker. I've already been picked, 12th pick in our draft. We're about to find out who else is going next at number 11. So let's see what we can get into.
Brand new bitch, it's a brand new friend, got a brand new.
This is our first episode of 2023. First episode in a studio. Also, Nestor's last episode for quite a while.
6 months.
Physically, he'll join us virtually.
Or 6
but-
years.
Are we gonna do some international shit?
Hey, you'll be the first person to call in from another country.
That's insane.
Yeah, because our technology is that good.
There you go,
We
folks.
can make that happen.
4 weeks ago, and I needed George Pickens to do something. and he had 1.9 points. You're the starting wide receiver, and you have 1.9 points. I needed 7 points. I needed 7. I needed 7 points, and the man got 1.9.
Shaq, don't spell it. What the?
No.
Just now. Do it.
Ryan doesn't get drunk.
I don't know at what point that Kansas City got to being this bad on defense.
You know, you can't hate him with Hopkins.
Oh my god! I'm gonna fucking
You getting paid a lot for going over there?
Tywin,
I mean, he might be doing some volunteer work.
If you go to Taiwan, bring your soldering iron. What else we got?
They asked him to bring a soldering iron.
How they could disrespect us on the TV we made?
To hear you guys, not gonna lie.
CeeDee Lamb finally gets his contract extension from the Cowboys. He is now the second highest paid non-QB in the NFL, in NFL history. 4 years, $136 million, $100 million fully guaranteed, $34 million a year, putting him just behind Justin Jefferson, who was getting $35 a year. And a nice hefty $38 million signing bonus. CeeDee Lamb is picking up some tabs tonight. Hey, CD, can you come get Cowboys fans? Do you like this deal? Everybody else, do you think CeeDee Lamb deserves to be the second highest paid receiver in all of football? Let us know in the comments below. 3 questions for Los Angeles Rams fans before the start of this season. Number 1, will Cooper Kupp be a top 5 leading receiver? Number 2, where do you think this defense will rank without Aaron Donald? And number 3, will the Rams be able to grab a wild card spot in the playoffs once again? Rams fans, let us know in the comments below. Who are your top 5 quarterbacks heading into this 2024 NFL season? Starting at number 5, my only NFC quarterback on this list, Matt Stafford. He has always been very underrated and is continuing that trend because he was hurt most of last year and he's already got some kind of an injury, but he should be all right this year. Man did win a Super Bowl just a few years ago. Now that he's got one of the best receivers in the entire NFL back in the mix in Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford is going to be set up to have a great year. And he's got Nakua in the mix. Number 4, I've got Josh Allen. I tried to find a way to leave him off of this list, but Josh Allen has got to be the 4th best quarterback in the NFL. He's the definition of a dual threat. He's huge arm. At number 3, I've got Joe Burr. Joe Shiesty takes 3 for me. Just like Stafford coming back from injury, let's not forget, that man is a baller. The NFL is better when Joe Burrow was out there playing. Number 2 is the MVP from last year, Lamar Jackson. He's the most entertaining player to watch in the NFL. Another definition of dual threat. And of course, number 1, undisputed, Sam Darnold. Come on. Who are your top 5 quarterbacks? Leave them down in the comments below. Go easy on Sam.
Arizona Cardinals are already on the clock. I got this team at 2-15. This team is going through too many coaches. What is Kyler Murray?
They're going to lose week 1. But after that, I've got to win 3 straight. Kyler Murray presumably will be fully healthy. COD won't be out yet, so he'll be locked in. When he was playing that latter quarter of the season last year, he looked good. Not great, but he looked good. With that kind of play, I think they could crank out about 7 wins.
You got a ton of money tied up into players like Warner and Bosa and McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel right now. They can't overpay for him because they don't know what the QB market's going to be. If Love breaks the bank at over $55 million or $57 million a year, and Brock Purdy has been to a Super Bowl. But then you also look at the state tax in California is insane. Whatever the 49ers offer, which is going to be less than any of his other teams, he's going to get a lot less of that money because of the state tax there. So it's one of the things that hurts teams like Clippers and the Lakers to try to sign people in basketball, the Kings for God's sake. I think they're being smart and not breaking the bank for them. That's what happens when you're a good team and you got a lot of talented people. You can't keep everybody. Well, what's more valuable to the 49ers? Overpaying Brandon Ayuk and strapping you with the salary cap, or getting some really good picks for Lynch to use? This is how great teams stay great for longer than 5 years.
Juju Smith-Schuster is back in Kansas City. Thank God. These past several years, it seems like he's been absolutely useless everywhere besides Kansas City.
If JJ is not getting his stats, come on over to New England. We have the cap space to afford you that new contract you just got. We'd love to have you. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. Second half of episode 203. We've got the infamous, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, G Money, joining us. What's up?
Aiden, it's so good to be back. I mean, last week just seemed strange, except that we were winning most of the time in Vegas, so that part didn't seem strange. But yeah, missing the show, that was a little different. And for some reason, I thought the show was on Wednesday, and then I remembered you were doing it on Tuesday. And we were eating yours, so like couldn't get away and actually put in like 4 or 5 minutes. But it's good to be back.
Yeah, you guys want to give? I had the privilege of meeting up with you guys for like an hour in Vegas, but do you guys want to give a 60-second synopsis of your vacation?
Well, I'll go ahead and go first, Gary. We got there. Money and I hit a bonus and damn near half pay before we even got in the room. We had a lot of drinking, a lot of gambling, a lot of fun, amazing food, and we all left up. We came back with more money than what we took with us. So that's a win if I've ever heard of it in Vegas.
Yeah, I think that was the first time that all of us came back with money, more money than what we left with. I really do. And yeah, food was really good. Sky Sweets is Sky Sweets. I mean, it's hard to touch them. Yeah, they're just that good. And yeah, we drank a lot. Went to a speakeasy, and yeah, that shit may not ever make it on YouTube or on this show, but there was some shit going on.
Yeah, we can go ahead and get into that after the show. That was that was 5 hours right there. But like I said, anytime you can go to Vegas and you're not contributing to the $1 billion that they rake in every single month, because you take some of that money back with you, and you get all the food, the experience, and all the fun, and see family, good trip. And we got to see you for an hour and a half. So, yeah,
it was great. All right, let's take our second half shot. Next, Drusilla has his bottle full of Absolute
water.
Oh
shit! Oh shit! What's he got now?
Mystery drink.
Is that BBC?
That's
imported BBC.
I think that's what was that Mott's apple juice?
Mott's apple juice. I was like, what's Mott's?
It's not Publix apple juice, I'll tell you that.
Brand name.
He said, "What is Mott's?"
I've never heard of this beverage before.
What did you take a shot of, G Money?
A little bit of Jack Daniels Bottle and Bonded.
There you go. Still
I
stuck
need
with
to
the
fill off
Buffalo
that
Trace.
bottle, so
In the next
Are you doing this?
year,
Are you doing the same beer for the second half?
Well, I switched up to the blue one instead of the red.
Okay, I went to an island. I needed a real beer.
I'm drinking out of the 18-time world champion cup.
Goddamn right.
In the next year, we need to have an alcohol sponsor and a sports book sponsor, and I can die happy.
Yeah, we do. That'd be awesome. And hey, you know what? PXG, if you're watching, Bob Parsons, if you want to give us something, That'd be great.
To go to Coppertail.
Hey, G Money's a Marine. Bob Parsons was a Marine or is a Marine. Let's do it.
I mean, let's make it happen. And Jack Daniels. Anybody listening from Jack Daniels? We will definitely support you.
We are we already do. We're your number one fan.
Don't worry, guys. I'll talk to the boys in British Beer Company.
Yeah, you get it, Nestor. Done it on a lot.
If we got sponsored by if I actually talked to him and they got sponsored, I fucking died. They probably would. If I asked them, they probably would.
I'd have to quit the show. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could promote BBC on a weekly basis. I don't know if I could do that.
That would be Nestor's ad read.
Yeah, Nestor would have to read that every week.
Nice. It's got a nice head. It's rather creamy going down.
God damn. Nice.
Well, second half of the show. Let's get to G Money. Do you want to give your top 5 quarterbacks before we hit the community comments?
Okay. Not a problem. And mine are pretty similar for you guys. I mean, I obviously had Mahomes at number 1, and some of that has to do with what he can do with receivers you never fucking heard of. I mean, he's good. He's really good. Lamar Jackson at number 2. I mean, and when you look at Lamar, if he had quality receivers, when he had Hollywood, you could see him doing 300 yards passing, 100 yards rushing. My number 3 is Dak. Once again, Malin said it. Name his number 2 wide receiver. Yeah, it's kind of hard. Name his number 2 wide receiver right now. That's even harder. My number 4 is Matthew Stafford. Why? When Cooper Kupp went down last year, no one had heard of Pakunua. No one had heard of him. I mean, even at Washington, he wasn't like a number 1 receiver, and then he transferred. I mean, it's the ability of the quarterback to elevate the receivers. And my number 5 is Jordan Love. Damn. Once again, the ability to elevate your receivers, to make them better than what they are. And Jordan Love, they all do that. Obviously, Mahomes is in a league of his own, and he does that. I mean, we watched last year. We saw when they played the Eagles, and he he threw passes to receivers that were wide open to drop those passes. But later on, they were catching them. It's easy to be a great quarterback when you have great receivers. It's not hard at all. I mean, Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback, and I guarantee you put him on another team, he'll still be a good quarterback. But you take away those 3 wide receivers and give him 3 no-name receivers, we'll see how good he really is. Josh Allen, we'll see this year how good Josh Allen really is, because he doesn't have his number 1 and number 2 wide receivers. They're gone. I do like C.J. Stroud. I think that he can be a great receiver, a great quarterback. I'm sorry. But I was kind of, between him and Jordan Love, I was kind of up and down about that. I was like, Jordan. And Jordan went to the playoffs. And from the middle of the season on, everybody was looking at Green Bay going like, you bastards. You had Brett Favre. You had Aaron Rodgers. Now you got Jordan Love. You guys should never be allowed to draft a quarterback or even look at a quarterback ever again.
Pisses me off. Bullshit.
I knew someone was going to throw in Jordan Love. I just thought it was going to be Nestor. So I'm kind of surprised there.
Yeah, man. I just kind of feel like I agree with what he did last year. I want one more year
Yeah, me too.
of it, with all the money on the line, and I think he'll do it. I think I'm just more mad that he had such a good year last year. It's not that I want somebody to fail, but I don't want the Packers to have 3 franchise quarterbacks in a row over like 30, 40 years. Like that's just stupid. What are we doing? Maybe they'll
We're
win one
drafting
more
good.
Super Bowl with this.
Yeah, maybe they'll win one more. But I mean, that just has to be. You have to look at Packers personal GM, scouts, and personnel director, right? I mean, they have the ability. They've had the ability to look at quarterbacks and say these guys are going to be good. I mean, Brunell went down to Jacksonville. Matt Hasselbeck took the Seahawks to their very first Super Bowl. I mean, both of those were drafted by the Packers. I mean, some teams are good at drafting certain personnel. Some teams aren't good at drafting fucking anybody.
I think we can all agree on one thing, though, is that the Packers have done less with franchise quarterbacks over the last 30-something years. With Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and you only get 2 Super Bowls out of those two
Didn't you get 3? Didn't Brett Favre go to 2 Super Bowls?
Well, he did go to 2, but I'm talking
he
about
lost.
you won. Yeah, you won 2 Super Bowls.
So you get 3 Super Bowls, you win 2, and yeah, I mean, some of that has to do with
it's 93.
basically.
That's wild. So,
yeah.
All right, let's get into some community comments. Let's see what these smart people have to say.
I was just reading some now, getting
love
some
these
ready.
people.
And we're going to
let's
start
do
with
it.
the quarterback comments, which, by the way, thank you all for the engagement on this video.
Love
70
it.
likes, almost 100 comments. A large
nice.
chunk of these were people arguing with each other.
That's fun. I like arguing with people.
I'm going to
Even
try.
TSA will tell you about that.
I will say most people had a lot of similarities with our lists, just kind of mixing some things around. So I'm gonna try and read some of the ones that were a bit different than ours. Let me see. Somebody had Baker, Mahomes, Jackson, Hurts, Dak.
Okay, so did he marry his sister in 2014 or 2018? When did that happen?
I hope that was in no specific order, but regardless,
I feel like it was.
I mean, obviously he's a Tampa fan.
Well, or they might be an Oklahoma fan. That's why I asked when they married their sister. It could be either or. You're marrying into family.
They're engaged. They're not married yet.
There's some pushback on Lamar Jackson here. So Kenny Smith says, I've been watching the NFL for a long time. I still don't get the Lamar Jackson hype. I know he was given 2 MVPs. I just don't see it. Someone else says the MVP lost its value completely the moment Lamar Jackson won it last year.
Damn.
Who else?
Who did he want to win? Did he say who he wanted to win it?
No,
he said Brock Purdy.
He probably wanted Dak to win it. It's probably a Cowboy fan. Probably wanted Dak to win the MVP.
So let's see. Someone else says number 1 Mahomes, 2 CJ Stroud, 3 Jackson, 4 Hurts, 5 Mayfield. What the hell? Someone else had Baker Mayfield on the list?
The fuck?
You got Stroud and Baker?
I mean,
and Hurts.
And Hurts. All right.
Renee says Mahomes, Stroud, Herbert, Burrow, Lamar.
What?
How do you have Stroud and Herbert over Burrow and Lamar?
And Lamar.
I don't know. I mean,
one's won 2 MVPs. The other 2 have just been to the playoffs and lost.
Oh my god!
And let's not forget.
Did you start watching the NFL last year?
Herbert with the Chargers had wide receivers, had a running back, and they had a defense. And no. We'll see how Herbert does this year.
Stroud and Herbert ahead of Burrow.
If he has a bad year and somebody has Herbert next year, that guy that said something about Baker's gonna look really smart.
Baker, I don't think that Baker is going to have a bad year. I don't think he's going to have a bad year. I just don't think the Bucks are going to win the division. But whenever you got Mike Evans, you're going to put up some numbers. And he is a lot more mature than what he used to be in Cleveland. So he's not going to be bad, but top 5? I mean, I don't know. I still think Geno's better than Baker right now.
I think Geno will have better stats this year than Baker.
Jesus.
I will say that I think Cleveland will regret trading for Watson and giving up what they did and doing the guaranteed contract and letting Baker walk away. Yeah,
I think so too. I think they'd be a much better team right now with Baker.
Probably. Last couple here. Somebody got into literally a 40 comment argument with each other over nothing.
I gotta hear this. Nice.
I'm not gonna read that one. Last one. Easton says, "Been saying it forever. Joe Burrow is the most overrated quarterback ever." It's a bit
ever.
So is he a Steelers fan? How you gonna do with Russell Wilson? One starter.
Interesting. All right, let me go to a different video. All right, let me go to the other video that got a good traction was Malin's take on Rome Odunze. This video got almost 350 likes, 47 comments.
Damn.
People were not. I mean, clearly there's a lot of people that agreed, but there was people in the comments who did not agree.
Really?
All right, where do I start here?
Let's go.
All right, so loves to munch says, quote unquote, his namesake, bro never watched Marvin Harrison Jr. play. He's literally a better prospect than his dad. You want to be different so bad, bro.
It's Marvin Harrison fans. Okay,
I want to be different so bad that I think that one wide receiver. I'm not saying that Harrison Jr. isn't like a top 4 wide receiver coming out of the draft. I just said that Odunze was better. Oh, I want to be so different. Cry a little bit. Jesus.
You know you can't have your own opinion on the internet.
I know I can't. I get flamed on everything. That's fine.
Michael says, no way, bro, thinks Rome was better than Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. And then he got into a nice lengthy argument.
Yeah, I do. I think that I do think that Odunze played against better defenses. When I looked at LSU schedule, when I looked at Ohio State schedule, when I looked at Washington schedules, and in the Pac-12, I felt like Washington played better defenses in the Pac-12. The Pac-12 was always overlooked. Michael Penix was hurt for about 3 or 4 games, and Odunze still balled out. He was still clutch. He was still that guy. He was a nail in the coffin against Oregon 2 times.
Yes.
So, yeah. And what did Marvin Harrison Jr. do against Michigan in his career? The top rival? I don't know. What, nothing? Didn't win a goddamn thing. So, I don't know. All right, continue. I love these.
I'll do the last couple here. Some people at least like gave just a good take. Who Day 11 says Marvin Harris is better, man. He'll be good, but he's gonna be the 3rd option on this Bears team at least the first third of the season. Marvin Harrison is going to be immediately the Cards 1 or 2.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
That's fair.
I will, because if you look at everything and you look at what the Cards have and what Chicago has at wide receiver and tight end, I can see that. But that will not reflect on who's the better receiver. Because the Cardinals don't have anybody but Marvin Harrison Jr. That's going to be their number one play. Odunze will not be their number one play for Chicago.
Well, and here you go into the whole volume thing, and why I don't say that CeeDee Lamb is a top 5 wide receiver right now is it because you're going to get numbers because nobody else is there. But I will say this: do not discredit the friendship that Williams and Odunze have.
Right.
They had a friendship. Like, they traveled to the draft together. They were working out in the offseason together leading up to the draft. They went to the same place, gearing up for the combine, stuff like that. Like, Odunze and Caleb Williams became friends and created a connection even leading up to the draft. And there is a trust factor that Caleb Williams is going to have with Odunze, even though he might be the number 2 or number 3. I could see him being a little bit more of a factor than what some people think he's going to be. But I could be wrong.
And let's not forget, they did get Manny's and Petty's together.
They did. They got Manny's and Petty's. They get
bros.
Manny's and Petty's. That's it. I'm not doing that with you, Jalen. So I guess we're not true
Come
bros.
on.
They went to brunch yesterday, so I had a couple of mimosas.
Bottomless mimosas?
Yeah.
I love Nestor so much.
All right, last video. I'll make this one very quick. 3 questions for Seahawks fans. This was from last week, but we had an unconventional episode last week. The quick comments here. I think the first question I asked was, will Sam Howell start at any point of the season, not due to injury to Geno? The second question was, where will the defense rank this year? And the third was, will DK Metcalf be I think I said a top 10 receiver in terms of just receiving yards? Maybe top 5, I'm not sure. But Frank, shout out to Frank. He says, Howell will play more than most think. I think Geno either ends up hurt or has a couple bad games, and Howell gets some time. Either way, DK and company will ball. Jugular Toe says, Howell isn't sniffing the starting job. Defense will be around 15, and yes, DK will be top 10 with around 1,400 yards. Yeah, he says, I think Geno is way better than people think he is. He's a top 10 to 15 quarterback right now. That's all right.
Generous.
Blaze says yes, top 10, and yes. Straightforward.
Okay. I will say this, Jalen. I don't think Howell plays if Geno doesn't get hurt. Geno outperformed Howell in training camp by leaps and bounds, by everything that G Money and I heard reporting wise in the Pacific Northwest. It was never really a competition. Number 2, I actually am bullish on the Seahawks defense. I think they'll be top 10. And I do think that DK will be good for about 1,200 yards and probably about 9 or 10 touchdowns.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that the Seahawks defense will be minimum top 15. I mean, from what I've seen, now granted it's preseason, and you're not playing against the number 1 offenses most of the time, and you're definitely not playing against any of their schemes. But the last preseason game I watched with the offense, I'm like, this is better than what we saw with Pete, except for maybe year 3 with Russell. But I think I think they'll be a lot better than people think. I think the defense is going to be minimum top 15, maybe top 10, maybe. Depends on how they want to do that. And DK, that's a lot of yards. I can definitely see him getting 7 to 10 touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to get that many yards. but he's probably going to be the number one wide receiver when they get, or the number one person that they're going to look at when they get in the red zone, because under Pete, when they got into the red zone, and especially when it got down to the 10-yard line, it was like 78% of the time they ran the ball. I don't think they're going to be doing that with Grubb. I think they're going to be looking more at passing.
All right. Well, all those comments came from TikTok. So you guys can follow us on TikTok at AFR Sports. It's the same on Instagram, but Instagram has just been a ghost town as of late. TikTok has been coming through, so shout out to everyone that follows us on TikTok at AFR Sports. So if you want to be featured next week on Community Comments, you know where to go. Let's round things out, folks, with what's up with that. I think this is gonna be the last one for the year here, because next week is kickoff eve and our rundown is gonna be switched up significantly. So this may be the last one. I'm not sure, but let's make it count. Let's treat it like it's the last one. So this is the segment where we air out a grievance with the world of sports from the past week. Usually this is a very emotional segment, and I expect nothing less this week. So, G Money, we will start with you. What's on your heart?
Sadness as it is, I have absolutely nothing. I mean, you know, yeah, nothing, not a thing. I mean, the Mariners are winning. We're going to start the college season. Well, we started last week, but as far as the Huskies are concerned, we're starting this week. Next week we start the NFL season. We're doing the fantasy draft. I got nothing. There's absolutely nothing that's upsetting me right now.
I love it. That's a man who's at peace with the world of sports. Take it in. Take it in. Malin.
Go ahead, Nestor. No, I want to go last.
Okay.
I don't want to go last. Come on, go ahead, James.
You guys want me to go?
No.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I do have one thing on my heart, people. I cannot be like G Money. Mine is the Patriot fans right now. Please, I can understand that you ideally want Drake May to start, because I do too, ideally. But that is La La Land. That is not reality. He really should not be starting week 1. I don't want him to. Just let's not throw him to the wolves behind this god awful O-line and just immediately basically scar him straight from the jump. Did we not learn with Mac Jones? Let's not go play this game like we saw with Justin Fields was another pretty good example. If you don't have very good offense around the quarterback, you really should not just be throwing him out there like that. Let the veteran go out there. That's why we have him. He's a bridge quarterback. Let Drake May hold the clipboard. Sure, he looks good in the preseason, but ultimately that doesn't really mean anything. I think he should sit for a year, and I just can't stand the fact that Patriot fans are like, he looked great in preseason, put him out. Come on, he should be starting week 1. Like, no. That's not necessary. A lot of the greats sat and watched Patrick Mahomes. Not that Jordan Love is great, but Jordan Love sat for a while. It can't hurt to just let him sit for at least just 1 year and watch Jacoby Brissett. Now, maybe a little later in the year, like second half of the season, they want to get him some reps, fine. But for the majority of the season, he should not be starting. And Pats fans, shame on you for trying to just throw this man out there like that when you see this O-line in the state that it's in. So
you already saw what happened to Mac Jones.
Exactly. And that was very recent.
Mm-hmm.
That's mine.
Go ahead, Nestor.
I don't have any proofs for the world of sports. I think everything is. I'm just excited about, the season starting finally, so we don't have to do these anymore. Because usually, if I have to do them, that means something bad happened. One of my, something happened during the summer, and that's not good. But everything, I have a third Argentina jersey. So a lot of good things happening during the summer that made up for how horrible the Heat were. And what the Dolphins did in the later stage of the season. I think the only thing I've been looking at lately is like the fantasy. Like a lot of these experts are just kind of like leading people into like the worst decisions possible, just leading the blind because they'll tell you, you gotta pick up this running back. Last year, they're telling me, hey, you know what? You should pick up Antonio Gibson. Late pick. Go ahead. Pick Antonio Gibson. I'm like, you mother. He didn't do shit but drop the ball for the Commanders all season. Like, I think one game he had like 0.7 points or some shit like that. Like, I don't know. And then he had like 1 point and then he went down because he dropped the fucking ball or something. I don't know what he did, but yeah, a lot of these late round running backs, man, I'm so iffy on that. And usually the first few running backs, some of them get injured. And some of these late round picks, like they're saying, oh, you should pick up Jonathan Brooks, even though he's injured for the first, 3 to 4 games. I'm like, I don't know about that. Coming off an injury.
Running back in particular seems to be like the biggest guess out of all these positions. Like, fantasy gurus give all this advice, but it's like every single season, the top 5 or 10 running backs is always completely different. So like nobody knows what the fuck's gonna happen with running backs.
I will say this, Jalen. I heard a crazy rule that some people are putting into their fantasy football teams, and I'd be all for it. I'd be all for this rule. A quarterback gets 100 points for making a tackle. That would be the craziest damn thing. If they throw like an interception and they end up tackling somebody, there's a fumble, they get a tackle, the quarterback gets 100 points. It's the biggest wild card you've ever heard of in your life. You could win that week just off of that happening alone. I think it's crazy enough to do it. I don't know. I know we're probably not going to do it, but I think it's wild enough that if we gave 100 points to a quarterback that gets a tackle, I think it's just the craziest damn thing I've ever heard in my life. But there's a lot of leagues starting to do that. Just as like this crazy wild card to get people just drinking way off the deep end. So that's one thing I'll say. Number 2,
Jameson Winston starting with anyone?
Maybe. Probably.
I mean, I might have to draft him in like the 15th round or something. That could be like bonus points.
The second, it's a slow week in the NBA if the biggest headline is that Celtics signed Lonnie Walker. I think that's kind of funny. A guy that doesn't even average 10 points a game, but whatever. Hey, go pick up for us, I guess. Help us raise Banner 19. But here I am with my grievance again with the WNBA. This is just just getting goddamn ridiculous, people. Okay. When did rebounds and double-doubles become the most important stats in basketball? Like, when have we ever been like, you know what? You're the rookie of the year or you're one of the best players in basketball because you got more double-doubles than anybody else and you're leading the league in rebounds. When was Dennis Rodman ever in conversation to being one of the best players in basketball, even though he led the league in rebounds back in the 90s? This whole Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark thing is just wild to me because everyone's like, well, Angel Reese, she set a rookie record for double-doubles, and she set a rookie record for rebounds, even though I think a third of her rebounds are based off of her own missed shots anyways because she's so goddamn bad at layups and put-ups. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has set the WNBA record for assists and three-pointers made in a season by a rookie. What is more exciting? Like, what is it, like rebounds and double-doubles, or are we doing like assists and three-pointers? And Caitlin Clark for this year is shooting threes a foot deeper than the best year on average than even Steph has ever had. She is hitting threes on an average a foot deeper from the 3-point line at almost 29 feet than Steph did at, I think, 27.6. She is balling out after they came back from the Olympics. She's setting records just like Angel Reese, but we're not talking about rebounds and your own put up shots that you keep fucking missing. Double doubles when you score 10 points and 12 rebounds. Like when are we gonna stop hyping this shit up? Like, there's not a comparison on who the rookie of the year should be, and it shouldn't be a race baiting thing. It shouldn't be a college thing. It shouldn't be a rivalry thing. It should just be, look at the stats. Look at who's bringing in the money, who's bringing in the crowds. Like, who is the better player is what should matter. And that is Caitlin Clark this year, right now. They're both setting records. I get it. But rebounds and double-doubles when you're scoring 10 and 12 versus setting records with threes and assists. I mean, and how many turnovers is Caitlin Clark had because her teammates got just goddamn butterfingers. Like, Jesus Christ. So again, it's just it's laughable. I hate the narrative. I feel like it's a lot of race baiting, and it's kind of bullshit. You shouldn't put these two women in this type of category, in this type of thing. It's unfair to both of them, but right now, still, Caitlin Clark is my rookie of the year, and her team is better.
Well, it is the WNBA, and forgive me, but it is catty. I mean, let's just be honest.
But like
It is.
rebounds, we're talking about rebounds over threes.
But yeah,
Like,
we are.
that's what we're
yes,
doing?
yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are talking rebounds over threes, and
That's so stupid.
it's not stupid. You're an idiot.
It is. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
No,
You're an idiot. Oh,
I'm
you
not an
are.
idiot. No,
You're a
that's like saying
buffoon.
that-
You're a clown.
No.
Clown on.
No.
But seriously speaking, Clark should win the Rookie of the Year. But if you watch the games that Angels played in, and you see the rebounds, there's like 2-3 players on top of her when she gets that rebound, and the girl can't jump, but she gets the rebound. And when did double doubles count? They count in the WNBA. We're not talking NBA. We're not. It's apples and oranges, totally different. So they do count, but I will agree with your final synopsis is that Caitlin Clark should win the Rookie of the Year. She should. But I'm not dismissing what Angel Reese does either. I'm not like you, dismissing what she did. Dismissing like it doesn't mean a damn thing.
I'm not.
Not like it doesn't mean a damn thing. And trying to compare it to the NBA. Trying to compare it to the NBA. Which it is not what it's doing.
I'm just saying.
And you can't just do it.
More important. What stats are more important? What stats bring in people? Are we talking 10 and 12? Or are we talking?
Oh, we're not even talking about that because that doesn't win Rookie of the Year. Bringing in people, generating money does not win you Rookie of the Year. But I agree with you that Caitlin Clark should win Rookie of the Year with what she's done. But what I'm saying is that you can't look at it and say, well, what brings in people? A clown with a fucking pickle up his ass could bring in people, but that's not what we're talking about.
Maybe for Nestor. Maybe for Nestor.
Why not, you bringing this?
I'm not saying that Angel Reese hasn't done things. She's a good number 2 for Rookie of the Year. I just don't think she's number 1. When you're talking about stats,
and I will agree with you on that part. That Caitlin Clark should win Rookie of the Year. I agree with you that part. I just don't agree with how some of the things that you said is how you got there.
I'm not trying to dismiss Angel Reese. I'm not trying to dismiss it. Well, okay.
You were saying rebounds don't count and this doesn't count. And what are we talking about?
But when 1/3 of your offensive rebounds are off of your own missed shots, it's kind of like you're padding your own stats because you suck at putting the ball up. So I will say that. She's not good at putting the ball back.
Scoring. I mean,
It's not
I mean,
good.
it's interesting. I mean, she can, but when you look at it, when she puts the ball up and she misses, which she does too many times,
And then she gets the
there's still
rebound.
there's 2 or 3 players there that are trying to get that rebound from her. So she has the
That's true.
ability to get, and she can't jump. That's the other thing is the girl cannot jump, and she's almost like well, pick any Eastern European center who has like a 3-inch in the NBA that has a 3-inch vertical. They can't jump, but they somehow get the rebounds. And Angel does not have. She has no vertical.
I was not trying to dismiss what she's done. She has set records. All I was saying is that the records that she's setting versus the records that Caitlin Clark is setting are just a little bit different, in my opinion. Is all I'm saying.
They are different.
I feel like one carries more weight than the other. Is all I'm saying.
Well,
I do think that Angel Reese is going to be a good pro. I think she's going to be a great pro.
I don't know if they hold more water, but I will agree. Like I said, I agree with you that Caitlin Clark should be the WNBA Rookie of the Year, and I think she will be. And she is breaking records. And after her very rough start, she's settled down a lot. I think she's figured out the game. And I'd love to see her next year in the NBA 3-point challenge.
I'd love to see that too. And I do think that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark had a lot of fun in the All-Star game when they beat Team USA. And I do think Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are going to win a couple gold medals together.
I totally agree with you.
It is definitely good for the WNBA to put this rivalry between them going on. I just think it's kind of apples and oranges right now on like who is more impactful.
It should be Angel Reese. I mean, that's not that shouldn't even be a discussion. I mean, but you can't dismiss what Angel Reese has done. You can't dismiss the double doubles because that's what counts in WNBA. NBA, we don't give a rat's ass about double doubles, even triple doubles. I mean, Harden had not Harden, but Westbrook had years of triple doubles, and we all when we were talking about him last year and this year, it's like so what? Who cares? The boy keeps throwing up. He's building homes for the homeless.
He does. Very true.
So I mean, it's true.
I saw in public a girl, she's probably like 9 or 10, wearing a Caitlin Clark jersey. And that was the first time in my almost 30 years on this earth I've seen someone wearing a woman's basketball jersey in public. It's surreal.
Well, yeah, she's big for the WNBA. Huge.
Well,
she's very huge for the WNBA.
Angel Reese has sold more jerseys than Caitlin Clark.
Wow.
Well, I know that, but from the draft till the season started, Angel Reese had sold more jerseys than any Dallas Cowboy player had sold jerseys throughout the entire season last year. Angel Reese did that. So they both are very influential and they both are very impactful. I just don't like the race baiting about it. I don't like, and listen, I probably am guilty of it a little bit. I don't like the diminishing of one person's accomplishments to another.
Yeah.
I think they're both going to be great. You got a really good opportunity of having like a magic bird type of moment between these two. I just think the skill set of Clark is better than the skill set of Reese, and maybe that'll change at some point. But the powers that be are really pushing this narrative of Angel Reese should be the Rookie of the Year, and especially on all social medias. And if you disagree with them, you're a racist. That's just how it is. I'm just going to be honest. If you disagree with anybody on social media, whether Angel Reese should be the Rookie of the Year, you're a racist, and you're probably related to Hitler. Is pretty much what it comes down to. And I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Well, you know how it is on the internet. If you give your opinion,
Yeah, the internet is
Wild.
bad.
Jalen, you need to cut this whole conversation from me and post it on TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be
absolutely.
good. That'd be
That
good.
would actually
let
would
me
be
get
good.
flamed some more.
Speaking of
Yeah,
Hitler,
let me get flamed more. The
Copyright infringement.
Yeah, boom.
Bam hammer. Bam hammer. Oh Jesus.
all right.
Well, it was a good
great
episode, guys.
episode.
I knew I was gonna say something stupid.
Next week we will have our who's going to come out the AFC, who's going to come out the NFC, and MVP predictions. I already looked at our last year's predictions. I'll share those next week's show, but they're very interesting.
They're bad, aren't they? God.
We'll have Ride or Die in 5 makes its long-awaited return next week.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
there we are.
next week will be a very special episode, kickoff eve. So yeah, folks,
Or
I
to
want to
it.
thank you all for watching. Thank you all for a great summer. This has been a pretty fun off season. It's always a struggle to find topics during this time of the year, but hey, we're rolling into
After the grind.
absolute best part of the year. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. You want all the content now because here we go. And yeah, be sure to follow us at AFR Sports. Follow June. It's all linked in the description below. And join our Discord because we talk ball all the time. And that's going to be amped up a bunch in the next week or so. So it's free to join and it's linked down below. So we will talk to you all next Wednesday at the normal time. If you're going to watch our draft watch along, that's this weekend on Saturday night. With all that being said, we will see you all this weekend. So peace out.
Peace.
Peace.